Hello, hello. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can't, I don't know what to tell you. Then you can't hear me asking you. Hello, if you can hear me, I'll ask for something in chat. That's a good idea. I'll ask in chat. If you can hear me, let me know. Now, if you cannot hear me, let me know. Nice. Awesome. All right, we have the countdown. We have hopefully everything working in the background. Golly gee, this is tricky because I'm using a new setup this year. New stuff. It has to be reconfigured, and it like 5 things broke within the first minute. So I'm scrambling. But I'm lucky that we got to start at least on time. For people here for the first time, welcome. This window right now is your opportunity to go grab a snack, get some food, some drinks, use the bathroom, whatever you got to do. This is just a window of time where I get to say hi to the people who are coming back and the people who are new. Hello, Mango Cheesecake. Welcome back to the stream. What's up? Or do you want me to call you Rasa on this? Nice to see you. Let me see if I can very subtly organize everything while I wait. Oh, I should post something on Twitter. That's what professionals do. Let me do that. Well, you guys can't see how I'm scrambling behind the scenes. What else do I do here? I link this onto Twitter, right? That's what we do? That's what we do. Let me get the link. Funny thing about Twitter, if you post something on Twitter with a link, it actually gets negative traction. There's a demerit on the traction you can get with a link to post, as opposed to a post with a picture that is boosted by the algorithm, and a video even more so. So if you want to post a link onto Twitter, you want to accompany it with some sort of image and then reply with the actual link. That's the best way to actually get eyes on your link. Otherwise, the Twitter algorithm pushes it down because it doesn't like people spamming links. But that's a little insight for today. How much time we got left? Now, a minute 30? Fantastic. Can you guys still see me? Hello? Just checking. I think I went dark for a sec. Yeah, something along those lines. You like make a link and then comment. Yeah, exactly that. So you use an image to originally build traction and then you link in the replies. That's the best way to post on Twitter, unfortunately. But hey, we're in it. Let's hope and all cross our fingers that everything goes well when I scroll. Are you guys ready? Come on, fingers crossed. Okay, so clearly the transitions did not make its way over to the new computer. As I quickly snap to the next slide. Welcome. Today we're reading Wilderfeast. Wilderfeast is a game that's not currently out yet, but it ran on Kickstarter, I believe August or summer of last year. We're about to go through a couple of tabs to run down everything about that. But this was a game that came across my feed thanks to the Dicebreaker article that came out earlier this month that featured a bunch of games coming out in 2024, and this is one of them. Hey, what's up, Splotchy Inc? Welcome back. Nice to see you. Let's start here. The Kickstarter, which is already over, but you can late pledge, I believe, or find the opportunity to late pledge eventually. It's here, Wilderfeast. Wilderfeast was hosted on Kickstarter by Horrible Guild, and they amassed, 190,000 euros with an original 20,000 euros goal. And this, it has a fantastic visual. I don't know if I can actually play this without copywriting, but I'm just going to page through all the really cool things that happen in this video. And yeah, cool. Yes. I'll just leave this playing in the background. Fantastic art. A lot of really cool animatics made for this project, and I thought it was worth a look into. The quick start that we're going to be reading today is entirely free, so you can go to this quick start yourself and find this entire project on your own and look at it on your own time. So we're going to get into that. The person credited for writing this, or the majority creative mind behind the project Wilderfeast, is Casey She. You can find her work over here on Twitter, Casey She Writes. I believe she has a card as well if you want to look into all their work. Beautiful stuff here, which is fantastic. So check out this person. We're going to be looking into their work today. Should be a lot of fun. I don't know if there's anything left. I guess for the record, if anybody has recommendations for what other games I should look into for the rest of this year, please comment it on my Twitter, which is WinTreeRPG, or you can comment it in the comments below. If you want to check it in live stream, that works too, but it is kind of hard to look through the live stream comments in post after this video is saved and goes live on my channel. So comment it somewhere I can see. I'm going to be reaching out to a bunch of authors hopefully this month to see if there's any material that would they would allow me to show on stream. I try to really be cognizant of not streaming too much paid content, so to speak, without the express permission of the author. But without further ado, there is a garbage truck backing up on my street, so I'll just treat that as wonderful ambiance for the rest of this stream, because I feel like it's going to be going for a while. Welcome back, Faraga. Nice to see you. Nice to see you in chat. I'm glad a bunch of these Monday people could make it over to the Tuesday stream. Mondays are a bit complex for me this year, and we'll see how that pans out for the rest of 2024. But anyway, Wilderfeast, you are what you eat. It opens up with this awesome title page. This is the quick start. Again, the quick start is 85 pages of content, which is super duper cool. That's really a very lengthy document. Wow, this garbage truck is getting louder and louder. I don't know if it's getting picked up by the mic, but oh good, it stopped for now. And you can see why I kind of got pulled into. Actually, let's go back to the let's go back to here, because I want to feature the artists that worked on this, because they're pulling a lot of the legwork in terms of pulling people into this. Much of the projects of tabletop RPGs these days are very vibe-based in terms of funding and getting backers for their Kickstarter. And visuals and illustrations are massively important for that sort of thing. So where are they? Here they are. So again, main writer, Casey She, Federico Corbetta Cacci. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. They are from Horrible Guild, I believe, the people who help run this. Hey, what's up, Jason? Nice to see you. And there's a bunch of authors for the artwork. Oh my gosh, where is it? I just zoomed past it. Here you go. Yulia Vicen, I'm going to murder these names, but I'm going to try it anyway. Julia, Vicente, Francisco Rubiolos Blanco, Ilsa Zhang, Francesco de Benedictis, worth a shot, and all of the monsters. And golly, there's so many monsters that I've seen so far. Zeno, I'm not gonna try. Zeno, Colangelo, maybe. Cecilia Lani, Francisco Riobolos Blanco. Oh wait, that name sounds familiar. Yeah, right here. He did the landscapes too. And Alessandro Corati. Thank you so much. Oh, this is based in Italy. An Italian board game and tabletop RPG publisher. I feel like that makes a lot of sense, which is why I can't pronounce a lot of these names. Thank you, you guys. We're going to be looking at all this wonderful artwork right now. Bloody murder. Polyphonico, welcome. Polyphonica Studio, you're the one who leaves all the fantastic prompts for our fan prompts episode. We just recorded episode 75, and your prompt is in it. I tossed it to Merle, so look forward to that in 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. 72 comes out tomorrow, 73, 74, 75. So 4 weeks from now, Polyphonica, you're going to hear a response to your prompt. Thank you so much for commenting all the time. Let's finally get into this. People who are watching the stream in post are like, get on with the show. Let's see. Welcome to the One Land. Welcome to the quick start version of Wilderfeast. Wilderfeast? I feel like that makes sense. Wilderfeast, a tabletop role-playing game about monster hunting and campfire cuisine. Already on Kickstarter and come and gone and successful. Let's see. If you want to follow them on Discord, ooh, that's kind of really cool. If you want to follow them on Discord and follow the updates from that, this is a fantastic opportunity. Again, this quick start is entirely free. You can get this for free. I didn't pay a cent for it. Just go to their Kickstarter and grab it there, or go to the Horrible Guild website. Let's see here. Yes. Again, this art is amazing. Content. Oh my gosh, how many pages is it? This is all before the book comes out. So 66 pages for pre-generated characters. We have introduction, characters, how to play, the trail, the hunt, the feast, recipe for disaster, and bestiary. So as I understand this game, there are humans and there are monsters existing in the same world, and you play as wilders who are a mix of man and monster. And your goal, as I understand it, is to confront these beasts and either befriend them or, if necessitated, hunt them down. So we're going to see how they strike that balance in this game, which I'm very, very curious about. Introduction. Yeah, we can read this. Monsters, in their infinite variety, roam the One Land. Some tall-necked and implacable stride through the parched deserts, each titanic footprint swarming with opportunists when the rain at last falls. Others slither through buzzing swamps, spitting fire and flaring their ruffs as they compete for territory. Monsters coast through the clouds, wallow in the mud, knife through the seas, and swing through the canopies. They are beautiful, brutal, quirky, terrifying, playful, and ravenous, and each is unlike any other. Monsters dressed in finery rule the One Land. Oh, that's cool. Consoles partition the horizons with cold eyes. Abacuses clicking as they calculate yields of grain and meat. Silk-robed merchants pay the starving and desperate to poach the last members of vanishing species. And every season, by order of the magistrates, the trains haul away hundreds of prisoners for the distant giants to eat alive. From their frost-rammed capital at the center of the continent, these giants glut themselves on every delicacy imaginable, and yet their appetites still are not satisfied. Monsters, freakish and grotesque, protect the One Land. As the cursed virus called the Frenzy spreads, the mutated rangers called Wilders fight to maintain harmony between humanity and nature. They kill the creatures they must, nurture the ones they can, and consume the ones they fail to save. In doing so, Wilders transform into half-human chimeras, for like all monsters, they derive the power from the one law of the One Land: you are what you eat. Awesome. So let's lay the groundwork for what this setting entails. The one land is the world that everything exists on. Monsters come in infinite variety. Some are properly monstrous. Some coast through clouds, knife through seas. They come in every sort of shape and size. Very importantly, there's a hierarchy. There are monsters that rule the one land. Some of them are giants that eat other monsters. Some of them are merchants that commission others to hunt for them. There is a brutal hierarchy to this world that must be recognized. And also, monsters protect the one land. There's a mention of a curse virus called the Frenzy, which creates mutated rangers called Wilders, which is, I'm assuming, what we play as, to maintain harmony between humanity and nature. I like this line because this really sums up the moral compass that you will be following for this campaign, I'm sure. They kill the creatures they must, nurture the ones they can, and consume the ones they fail to save. And in doing so, while they transform into half-human chimeras. And you get power from what you eat. That's super promising. I really, really like that. Hey, what's up, Quartzite? Nice to see you. Welcome back. All right, here we go. Human. Oh, whoops. Hunter, ranger, keeper, chief. You are a wild eater, better known as a wilder. You're human, though you might not look like it, and with every hunt, you incorporate part of another monster into yourself. Oh, if this is the kind of game I'm thinking, then this is really, really fun. The first among your kind dedicated their lives to containing the frenzy, the incurable curse that amplifies hunger, pain, and rage in a vicious cycle. But despite their best efforts, the frenzy now circulates with virulent speed across the one land. Hope remains. You can save the monsters threatened by the supernatural disease, but it is a hope that requires diligence and sacrifice. Wilders travel in packs, but they are not a formal order. No central authority or hierarchy governs them, and each is free to decide both what harmony with nature means and also how they hope to achieve it. Some wilders live like cave-dwelling beasts, clad in rugged furs and eschewing all polite company. Others act like wandering knights, adored by some and hated by others, their artful mutations forever separating them from those who have not sworn their oaths. You know, what would be super cool here from this first couple paragraphs is if your character progressively develops based on what they eat along the way, which is really exciting. It's a very Mega Man-esque kind of power-up system, right? I'm thrilled. I hope this goes well. Actually very, also, what's his name? Natsu from Fairy Tail type, except Natsu only eats fire, so it doesn't really work like that. Let's see. You decide what path you walk as a wilder. And it says here, you hunt monsters, scavenge or overside arc steel weapons. Very cool wordage here. Can I highlight in this thing? Add comments, highlight. Oh, I guess, is orange the default color? I guess. Okay. From ancient Green King ruins. Like these words. In a few words, can even lift their trademark arms. With such a tool in hand, you track down monsters whose frenzy advances too far, and you put them down before they hurt themselves or anyone else. Many wilders wish gentler forms of euthanasia were an option, but the berserk titans never fall quietly. Okay, so the motivation of hunting monsters here isn't necessarily for sport or glory. It's very much a necessity that wilders see as a friend, as the virus. Let me see how this is explained. Yeah, a virus called the Frenzy, which is an incurable curse, drives monsters berserk. And the only way to really bring them to peace is to bring them down. Nice. Next is you cook monsters. The frenzy spreads from fallen corpses. I'm going to take a drink. Hold on. But you know the techniques to prepare frenzied meat and make it safe for consumption. Eating your hunts is what gives you powers. And while all creatures in the one land take a measure of supernatural strength from their meals, only wilders undergo such permanent and dramatic transformations. The one land's best wilders are also the most skilled chefs. Okay, so the concept. You hunt monsters that have gone super berserk, and not to waste the food, not to kill only for sport. You make a meal of them, you cook them, and you purify the frenzy from the meat to make it safe for consumption, and by doing so, you gain supernatural strength from the monster that you have slain. Awesome. Really like that. Next is you feed monsters. Healing the world takes more than just killing your way through it. You must also care for the injured and orphaned monsters left behind. Your beliefs dictate when it is right to interfere with the often callous reality of nature. But if you refuse to act at all, then it won't be long before the one land's most wondrous creatures disappear entirely. You comfort, cure, and raise monsters who die without your help, and in doing so, you demonstrate your humanity, or perhaps a quality that transcends it. Go forth in hunger, Wilder. The trail awaits you. Very cool. Okay. So, this obviously brings up the point that you're not supposed to hunt every monster you run into. Some monsters are injured, some are requiring of help. A lot of them are just straight sentient people. Like, the concept of monsters in this game isn't frenzied beasts all the time. It's literally other people. You yourself are both human and monster as a Wilder. So many of these monsters are just things you can talk to and have conversations with. So the idea that you help these monsters is perfectly logical. I like that. And it'd be interesting if the food you cook, instead of eating it yourself, you manage to give to another monster. I'm curious what direction they go with this. Courtside. I wonder if the title is supposed to be pronounced like Wilderbeast. I mean, you're right. you're probably so Wilderfeast? Wilder. I'm thinking like, so I'm guessing wilder comes from like wilderness, right? Or it's supposed to be a pun on a wildebeest. I get that. But I guess Wilderfeast is not perfect. Oh my gosh, if I get this wrong, how do I make sure I'm right, guys? How do I make sure I'm pronouncing it right for the rest of the stream? Maybe we can watch a video. Do you think they have a video? Oh golly. Okay. Let's see. This is a dangerous thing. I'm gonna go on YouTube. Wilderfeast. Dicebreaker? You think they pronounce it correctly? Dicebreaker's gotta pronounce it correctly, right? Yeah, let's try that.
Let's be real.
Oh my gosh, there's ads. Alright, I'm giving somebody else ads. Give me a second.
Back to Dicebreaker, where today we have been sponsored by Horrible Guild to play the hot new RPG Kickstarter now. It's Wilderfeast.
They say Wilderfeast. They say Wilderfeast, guys. I don't know what to make of that. Wilderfeast? Golly. I'm going to take a risk here and say it's... Maybe I'll just avoid saying the game from here on out. It's spelled Wilderfeast. Yeah, so... Wilderfeast? Wilderfeast. I think the more I say it, Wilderfeast really rolls off the tongue. We'll go for the rest of the stream, we'll say Wilderfeast. But the fact that Dicebreaker got it wrong, and Dicebreaker has like the biggest video on it, which has like 5,000 views, right? Is there any bigger video than that? Oh, Thumivore has. Let's see. We'll give Thumivore a chance.
There's a tabletop RPG by Wilderfeast.
He says Wilderfeast too. They all say Wilderfeast. I mean, you're chat's smart though, right? You guys are smart. Wilderfeast feels correct. Wilderfeast. Wilderfeast. No, Wilderfeast. Wilderfeast definitely. I'm gonna say Wilderfeast from here on out. And if I get corrected later, that's fine. Because Corside makes a great point. It rhymes with Wilder. It rhymes with Wildebeest. Anyway. This is a game about monster hunting and campfire cuisine. We know this. Great. One player is the guide, this system's term for game master or GM. The rest are wilders, protagonists of a story about finding harmony between humanity and nature. Games like this often say, play to find out what happens next. We'll second that, but for Wilderfeast specifically, Wilderfeast rolls off the tongue now. Now I get it. We'd like to add, play to become part of this world. Seek connections, cherish the little details, and care fearlessly. Even when apathy is easier. In doing so in ways great and small, you make this world part of you. Okay, let's get into this game. Grab some 6-sided dice, d6s, 1d8, and 1d20. So multiple d6s, 1d8, and 1d20. You'll need a character sheet, and there's pre-generated ones in the back. Fantastic. Okay, inspirations, paleontology, cryptozoology, Monster Hunter, and Godzilla. That makes a lot of sense. Their post-apocalyptic technology seems anachronistic to us, combining futuristic magical salvage with tools made from stone and bone. They have access to high-speed, levitating trains, for example, but they use clubs and spears instead of guns. Interesting. So it's a weird blend of past and future. Food is no exception. Some people eat porridge from iron kettles, others had cheeseburger and fries, and still more cook meals with no easy parallel, enabled by the world's fantastical abundance. Whatever cuisine you know best, you can find its analog in the one land. If you want to replicate the culture surrounding that cuisine, for what is food without its context, we trust you to do so thoughtfully and creatively. Finally, the one land is vulnerable. A global trading conglomerate called the Charter expands from the center of the supercontinent unknowingly or perhaps uncaringly, spreading the frenzy through the use of scavenged technology. Okay, so the frenzy is spreading due to the technology that they found. Because of the frenzy, people live in fear of monsters. Because of their fear, they ask the Charter to defend them, and because of the Charter, the frenzy spreads further. Wilders are the ones most dedicated to stopping the spiral, but though they are capable and skilled, they are still small compared to the world around them. Nice. Nice. Okay. One thing to keep in mind is that this world is both serious and silly. Nature isn't self-conscious. A majestic leonine monster can spend 1 minute overseeing its territory, backlit by the orange sun while its mane ripples in the wind, and then spend the next licking its butt. Likewise, as wilders, you grapple with the deterioration of the natural world and the human systems responsible for that decline, but at the end of the day, you're also wielding oversized cooking utensils to turn kaiju into dinner. The aim is for two of its sides to enhance rather than undermine each other, and as a group you'll find the balance of tone that works best for you. I like that. I do like that. We get to look at this wonderful art. For safety rules, we always recommend the X card. We talk about the X card pretty much every game, which is a staple. And here come the basics. Alright, this is the cycle of play. This is a loop upon which we build the rest of our sessions. First is free play. Be creative and form connections with the world around you. Set goals, roll tests, and develop your relationships with both your packmates and the one land. The trail. Explore the wild as you follow signs left by the monster. Discover tracks, overcome events, and traverse areas with unique terrains and foraging opportunities. Hunt. Confront your prey using all your training, wits, and monstrous strength. Bring your traits and techniques to bear in fast-paced tactical combat. First mention of tactical combat should be interesting. The feast. Gather the fire and to share a meal with your packmates. Mix and match ingredients to restore stamina and gain bonuses both temporary and permanent. This is what I'm so curious about. What will this look like? How will they mechanize this? What is the game plan here? We'll see. Core rules. Nice seeing you, Courtside. Thanks for stopping by. Core rules. Every character has levels and styles, which represent broad approaches to actions, and skills, which represent the types of actions wilders and monsters perform most. So styles feels like a class, and skills feels like your moves or your actions. If a character attempts an action with something at stake, they must make a test using a style combined with a skill, such as a mighty call. Oh, interesting. To intimidate a monster you into backing away, or a swift search to follow tracks in the undergrowth. Oh, look at how they combine this. So orange indicates style. This is actually fantastic formatting. Let's just examine this real quick. So mighty call is a split of style and wow, what is happening here? Style and skill, right? So style is an adjective form. So mighty is a form, swift is a form, and then the skill is something like call, which is like a verb, call and search. So when you combine them into one phrase, they explain what you're doing and kind of how you're doing it, or what style you're doing it in. So I'm imagining mighty and swift are kind of like stats, so to speak, like a strength and speed type thing. And that's what you use to modify the skill, which is actually really fantastic. Just use of color. So let's see. The basic steps for any test are decide the style and skill you're testing. Create a dice pool with a number of d6s equal to your level in the test style. So this indicates that there will be 6-sided dice. Well, there will be a level attributed to every style. So you might have a high level of mighty and a low level in swift, and that level indicates how many d6s you're using in the roll. Choose your action die. Humans use a d8 action die, and monsters use a d20. Wilders have access to both. Interesting. So we know that wilders are a combination of humans and monsters, so they have access to both of these size dice. So now I'm curious, why wouldn't we always use the d20 if we're aiming for a high result? I don't know if they've mentioned what a successful roll is, so I guess we're going to go into that. Roll your dice pool, then add your skill bonus. Okay, so you have bonuses that you get from skills and levels that you have in style. Check for success. Your style dice determine whether you succeed. Your style dice. So your d6s determine whether you succeed. If you do, your action die determines the quality of that success. Okay. Interesting system. So every roll is, if I'm understanding this correctly, every roll involves a style, which indicates how many d6s you're using, and a skill, which involves either a d8 or a d20 action die. Your success is based on how many successful d6s you roll, based on your style, and if you roll enough successes, then you get to pull off your action, which relies on the d8 or the d20. So it's kind of a two-part roll. I guess for people who know 5e or come from D&D 5e, this is like rolling to hit and then rolling the damage, so to speak. Except rolling to hit involves a whole lot of d6s, and each d6 represents a success or a failure. A common short-term consequence to failing tests is that you lose stamina. The less stamina you have, the more dangerous it is to press forward. A more long-term consequence is that you lose harmony, a shared resource that represents your pack's relationship with each other and the natural world. And there's more into how to play. The bulk of the gameplay is during journeys. When you're trying to reach a destination, use the rules for the trail. When you're trying to fight a monster, use the rules for the hunt. And when you're trying to cook a meal, use the rules for the feast. Cool. So there's free play, right? Free play, which is just all the space in between, kind of the downtime of the moment. And then a more action-y phase is the trail, the hunt, and then the feast. So it's like, if this were looking at some sort of bell curve, this is the bottom, then trail is climbing up, hunt is the climax, and feast is the downturn. Cool. Characters. Your persona in the one land. In Wilderfeast, your character sheet is an evolving personal chronicle, each attribute representing a major moment in life or a monster you've made part of yourself. The quick start includes 6 pre-generated wilders with backstories and connections, all of their own, which you can use to play the tutorial adventure. To help you choose one that fits your playstyle, this section covers what the various elements on a character sheet mean. Okay, let's get into this. This is actually super interesting to me. Styles. Let's start with styles. All right, set your brain up for styles. Styles, again, is indicated by orange text, which we noticed here. Styles are the ones that use D6s. Styles are the core attributes of wilders and monsters, representing also, oh my gosh, the presentation is amazing. Look at this art. And look at how the borders of these boxes complement that sort of drawing style. It's so nicely bonded. Sorry. Styles are the core attributes of the wilders and monsters, representing the overarching approaches actions can take. Styles range from 0 to 5 for monsters and 1 to 5 for wilders. I wonder why there's a difference there. This is an interesting detail. Each pre-generated wilder starts with a +3 in one style, +2 in another style, and a +1 in the remaining styles. For each level you have in a style, you will get a d6 for rolling tests. There are 4 styles in total: Mighty, Precise, Swift, and Tricky. Mighty is strong and tough. Precise is calm and methodical. Swift is quick and energetic and alert. Tricky is subtle, deceitful, technical, or shrewd. And these can go up to from +1 to +5, and each of these indicate the number of d6s you're rolling in order to get a success. So the information we're looking for next is how many, what is a successful roll on a d6, and how many of those rolls indicate an overall success in terms of advancing to the action dice. Love it. This guy probably ate a crab. Isn't this sick? Isn't this so cool? There's like a weapon and they have cool animal stuff. Isn't there a character from My Hero Academia who eats like seafood and gets seafood powers? Can't remember his name, but he's very cool. Skills. Okay, so skills are very much, from a quick glance, this looks a lot like moves in Powered by the Apocalypse games. Skills are the abilities wilders and monsters use most. Skills range from +0 to +3. Each pre-generated... Am I saying that right? Each pre-generated wilder starts with a +1 and 3 different skills, and +0 in the remaining skills. For each level you have in a skill, you increase the die result by 1 after you roll. You can combine any skill with any style when making tests. There are 12 skills in total. For each level you have in a skill, you can increase your die roll by 1. Yeah, so these are bonuses or positive modifiers to whatever you roll on the die. Got it. That's a cool 2-part system. I really like that. Okay, so assurance. So these are things you can do to interact with the world. Soothing and encouraging creatures. Having or accumulating resources. How is this a move? Let's find out. What does this mean? Make a precise hoard to pack just the right gift for the toll keeper blocking the road. Make a tricky hoard to bury the monster's eggs where no one will find them. I'm not used to this type of skill. So I'm trying to think of what would be an equivalent in other games. So this is the ability to strategically place your resources, whether that be hiding them or presenting them or organizing them or utilizing them. This is specifically almost uniquely interacting with your inventory in the most practical way. Right? This is super interesting because usually other games would treat this as like an intelligence sort of check, right? Like or a wisdom sort of check, street smarts, how to go about dealing with your inventory. It's a niche ability. I actually really like that because I don't think I've ever seen something like that before. Search makes sense. Finding things. Call. So this is the charisma trait. This is the interact with the world sort of trait. Vocalizing and communicating. Great. Crafting. Crafting is its own thing. So while Hoard is utilizing the inventory that you have, crafting is the act of transforming that into something useful. Got it. Shot, attacking from afar. Okay, so this is just a straight attack. Strike, I'm guessing, is a melee. Yep. Melee attack. Shot is distance attack. Cure, tending or healing inventories. This can be used for nasty cuts, shrugging off poison. Very cool. Display, making a demonstration. So display is different from... This is so interesting because display is uniquely important for like food, right? Display is different from craft because craft is making something useful and display is making it cool to look at, right? Study is retaining knowledge, makes a lot of sense. Traversal, oh, there's a travel stat. This is kind of like survival, I suppose. And then grab. Oh, interesting. This one's interesting. From my D&D brain is kicking in here. So grab is like a combination of the grapple check for athletics if you want to use a mighty grab, but if you're using a swift grab, it's actually more like sleight of hand. It's the ability to steal things or take things. Can we let's use the styles and see what we can make of this. So grab, mighty grab is like grabbing something. Precise grab is like grabbing a falling gem in a scattering of objects. Swift is your ability to steal, I suppose, and pilfer without being noticed. Or maybe tricky. Tricky is the ability to steal. A tricky grab would actually be some sort of cool magic trick. I like that. Wow. This is an interesting thing. This is actually super interesting. I like how these 4 abilities kind of transform all 12 of these into something very different, and depending on how you interpret it. So cure, something that's typically attached to just the one stat, right? Looks different when it's mighty versus when it's precise versus when it's tricky. I'm sure there's combinations that don't get used as much as everything else, but at least it allows the creativity of making that a thing. I do like that. That's really cool. I'm sure there's systems that have done this before, but this is one of the first times I'm seeing it, which is very nice, very refreshing. Yeah, I like that. I do like that. Gathering information. To check what information your character knows, follow these steps with your guide. If it's common knowledge, you know it. Great. If you have reason to know it because of your background, you know it. If you have no reason to know it, but you have a way of finding out, make a test. That makes sense. If you don't have a way of finding out, you don't know it. This block seems kind of silly. I don't think you need... This seems like a very big text block for something that's common sense, but whatever. Guess it needs clarifying. Traits are the qualities that make every creature special, like flying or venom. Some traits can upgrade multiple levels, like flying 2. Ooh, flying 2. In which case you acquire them one level at a time. How cool would it be if you could eat multiple flying monsters to upgrade your flying? I'm just gonna put that into the air just to see if it comes up later. Every trait has an explicit mechanical effect, but feasibly your traits can help in any situation, so long as you describe how. By default, every creature has grit, a trait representing life's quintessential will to survive. Every human also has insight, a trait representing their ability and intelligence and ability to read situations. These 2 traits are already written into your pre-generated character sheet, and we will discuss them more on page 14. In addition, each pre-generated character has 2 starting traits representing their most dramatic mutations. The mechanics for these traits are included in the character sheet for ease of reference, but as with grit and insight, they make more sense after you read the rules. Time to learn more. Nice art. Oh, they're not going to go into it? Maybe they'll go into it later. I'm really curious about this trait stuff. Alright, name. Personality prompts. Fantastic. A tool. So this is your weapon. Arc steel comes back. So arc steel is the material, a regenerating mystical metal that makes your tool. I love that. That's so cool. Each tool also comes off with a starting technique. Man, they are... Oh, these are so cool. These are so cool. Oh, gosh. It's like someone grabbed everything I like about video games and just chucked it into a tabletop RPG. That's so nice. I know that's basic stuff, right? I know that's basic stuff, right? Oh, the spear can stab and the blade can cut. But like, everybody having oversized weapons in a world where you hunt monsters and make them into food, and by eating them you gain their powers. What a fantastic concept to just be turned into a game. How have I never heard of this game before? How did I miss this for half a year? How did nobody in my circles ever tell me that this exists or will exist? Because this feels right up my alley. Anyway, yeah, we have a background, which is a 3-step backstory. Backgrounds have connections, which link your characters. Always fantastic thing. Oh my god, every game should do this. Every game should do this. It's such a useful thing. It's just a great thing to make the party gel right at the start. Hometown staple and hometown spice. That's very fun. It's something that defines your cooking. A monstrous acquaintance. Very cool. For the quick start, every character is the same monstrous acquaintance. Sweet Loaf, a gentle armored monster called a Mamudo. Nice. This is a character sheet. Very nicely styled character sheet. Mighty, the styles can go up to +3. That's very cool. Can styles go up to +5? Am I mistaken? Styles can go up to +5, but I guess for these pre-generated sheets, they're just going to go up to +3. That's fine with me. Yeah, this is neat. Ooh, let's look at these examples. Okay. Okay, this should be fun. Cleaver. Range 1, strike, of course. So this can't be shot. If broken, if this part has additional range from techniques, reduces range back to 1, strike. This part deals half damage. If broken, specifically if broken. I don't know what that means. There's tool durability. I don't know if I'm a fan of that, but we'll see. Clean cut. Mercy takes training. Make a mighty strike or precise strike at a creature within 1 stride. If you succeed, deal A. I don't know what A means. Action dice times 2 part damage. I don't know what 2 part damage means yet. Cost 3 action. 3 action economy? Oh, we're Pathfinder now. Clean cut is a combat technique that takes your whole turn to use. You'll need to move into position ahead of time to make the most of it. But if you land your strike, then you'll deal a massive amount of part damage in 1 blow. I'm curious what part damage means. Maybe that's like striking a specific part of the creature's body? We know grit. Increase A by 1. I'm trying to figure out what A means. Let's zoom out and figure out what A means. A means... Not sure. Action dice? Action dice is a D8 by D10. Oh, we'll figure it out. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Oh, different parts of a monster. Cool. Cool. Oh, look at this. This is a neat little mechanic. Frightened is, you can deal frightened to a creature, which makes them less effective when they roll tests. And you can stack it, so the condition of frightened can increase from frightened 1 to frightened 2 to frightened 3. Very cool. So like you can make a whole team effort to make somebody really, really frightened. Hitting creatures don't have advantage when attacking you. Advantage? Oh, advantage. What does that mean? I'm guessing that means just add a d6. Or drop lowest or something like that. Okay. Well, I mean, what I'm reading from this is that there is a pretty detailed combat system, which is neat, which is nice, you know. I love me a good combat system. It's art. So good. You are scary but struggle to be decisive. This is your monster's acquaintance. Staple, sourdough. Oh, this is fun. So this is how you make up the background. It's like a 3-step thing where you put together these pieces that do upbringing, so how you were raised, initiation. I'm imagining that's what turns you into a wilder, as it says here. Then ambition. What is your ultimate goal as a wilder? Very cool. Let's see, Andre. Hey, welcome back, Andre. Have your group had new TTRPGs that you play much more than now, since you've covered a lot of TTRPGs already? Well, I can list just off the bat. My second favorite TTRPG ever, Masks, is something that I'm playing more regularly. I'm running more games on it with a couple of my friends, and I'm playing one it's like monthly or bi-monthly. I'm in a little Masks game. It's been a whole lot of fun. That's a superhero tabletop RPG. In terms of 2-player games, I've already played Tangled Blessings with my co-host on the podcast, which we've played 8 sessions of, and then we played a little bit of Eyes on the Prize, which is also a 2-player game. And yeah, I've been trying out some. I haven't had any, obviously, to the length of which starting a campaign like D&D. The hardest part, as you probably know, about starting a tabletop RPG is getting your entire table to buy in on it. So learning a whole new system, inventing characters in this new space, and so many of the people I'm friends with over the last half decade have played so much D&D that it's hard to imagine playing other games beside it, because there's already so much of a time sink and time investment in learning that game that, like, why learn something else? You know, why not just hack 5e, which is a mindset that's difficult to get over. But honestly, as long as tabletop RPGs continue to be creative and lend themselves, I think personally, specifically, to an increasingly online community, finding their way onto virtual tabletops and making themselves accessible to communities beyond something local, which is a huge limiter on how much you get to play, then these games will thrive in their own little communities. Obviously, none of them will have the 50-year legacy of D&D, so they'll be starting from a much lower point on the mountain. But it's not to say these games don't have quality and aren't worth playing. If I'm not running a full campaign of Masks, or this game, Wilderfeast, or Triangle Agency by the end of this year, I'd be very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised if I'm not running a full campaign of one of those 3 games, because they're on the top of my list of things to look at and absolutely appeal to the kind of games that I enjoy. So, honestly, thank you for the question. In terms of 2023, I believe I played somewhere in the ballpark of 15 to 20 non-D&D tabletop RPG sessions, which is not a terrible number considering I've played hundreds of D&D games. But thanks for asking. Let's see. What are we missing here? Connection. This is the this is where you put your teammate's name. So this is something that, golly, I have to keep attributing it to masks because that's where I first saw it. But there's a system in character creation that intrinsically ties you to another player before roleplay even starts. That's a connection. It could be a relationship line. These are super duper useful to getting everybody at least with a friend in the room when the game actually starts. Just as awkward as it is to start in a room full of strangers in real life, it's always so much easier to start playing or being a normal person when there's somebody you recognize in close vicinity. So that's the point of a connection. And yeah. Golly, look at this art. What is happening here? Lots of stuff. Look at all these monsters. How to play. Makes sense to me. Okay, here is the system. This is what we were wondering about. How do we determine if there is a success when you roll? We know that the style calls upon a bunch of 6-sided dice, and we know that the skill calls upon a D8 or a D20. My initial questions is what determines a success, and why would you ever use a D8 over a D20? And I guess we're going to find out now. Let's see. Decide the style and skill. Create a dice pool with a number of D6s depending on the style. Choose your action dice. We know this. Roll your dice pool. Add your skill bonus. Check for success. Your style dice determine if you succeed. The action die determines the quality of that success. All right. Okay, the premise is not wants to scare a monster away. They're going to use tricky call. Tricky being the style and call being the skill. The guide, aka the GM, can adjust the risk, cost, and outcome of the task. Oh, okay. So risk is the likelihood of success, increases or decreases. I'm guessing this is the number of successes you roll on your dice. The cost, how much stamina you pay just to attempt it. So there is a cost system. Yeah, obviously in D&D terms, easiest way to do this is uses per day or spell slots. That's what it would cost to do something like this. And then outcome is the benefits you gain, or you face additional consequences if you roll very, very badly. Cool. All right, here we go. Create a dice pool. To create a dice pool, gather a number of d6s equal to your level in the test style. These are called style dice. We know this. So if you have +3 mighty, you can roll 3 style dice, which is 3d6. Right? All right, quick. smallest criticism. The dice that are surrounding the style dice are d8s, not d6s. These should really be d6s if they're trying to drive the point home. But whatever, that's fine. During your step, you gain the action die. The action die's result is your action score, abbreviated A. Oh, so this A is the result on the action die. Cool. If you succeed, A measures your effectiveness. If you don't succeed, action die does nothing. Sometimes the effect of A has a strict definition, like when you deal damage, but other times the guide uses it as an abstract gauge for success, like how convincing your lie was. Humans use D8s and monsters use D20s. To rely on your human strengths, focus up. Add a D8 action die to your dice pool. This option is consistent and reliable. Alternatively, become the monster and go wild. Choose one of your traits that describe how it helps you in this situation. Be bold and imaginative with your description. Most traits apply to more situations than you'd think at first glance, and guides are encouraged to be as generous and as possible with what they permit. You can't go wild with the default traits, grit and insight, or with your tools techniques. Then remove one style die and replace it with a D20 die. This is risky, but it could make an action an order of magnitude more defensive. Oh, okay. So the reason you don't want to use the D20 is because it would be removing one style from your it'd be removing one style from your one D6 from your style pool. So say for example you're rolling a 3d6 for style and you need 2 successes, right? With 3 dice that might be pretty possible, and you could add a d8 to that just to see how well you do after you succeed, right? But if you want to really go crazy and really try to aim for a super high roll, you can replace one of those d6s with a d20 and only roll 2 d6. And those 2 d6 both have to hit the success for anything to go off, but the potential of the result is much, much higher. So the caveat is you're lowering with a lower chance of success with a higher potential ceiling, so to speak. I like that. Yeah, this is what it says here. Going wild is sacrificing a d6 from your pool, but you get to add a hefty d20. This lowers your chance of success, but it also increases the range of A by 150%, which is a whole lot. Roll your dice pool. After rolling, you can add 1 to a dice result for each level you have in the test skill. Yes. You can apply this bonus to 1 die or multiple dice. You can split it unevenly. And you can raise a die result beyond its rollable maximum, aka 9 on a d8. Oh, you can add these plus ones to any dice, even your style dice. Huh. Typically, you want to prioritize getting at least 1 5+ on a style die. Then you can apply your remaining skill bonuses to the action. Or you can manipulate the style dice to get more results of 5+. I'm guessing a success is 5+. They haven't said it yet, but I'm guessing a success on the d6 is a... Pika Azuro. Wait, this has fear and hunger type combat. I don't know what that is, Pika Azuro. Welcome back, by the way. But this is a game about hunting monsters or befriending monsters and making meals of the monsters you kill. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but that's certainly what this game is about. It's called Wilderfeast. Okay, so yes, the definition of success on a d6 is a 5. So with +3 craft, if you roll a 5 for a 1, you can add 1 of those craft points to the 4 to turn it to a 5, which makes it a success. So you get 2 successes, and then you add the last 2 craft to the action die to bump that 2 to a 4. Kind of cool. Cool system. I feel like that might be a little bit tedious in terms of every single roll, but with a savvy party that goes pretty quick. Here. Each result of 5 or more on a style die is a success. If you have no successes, you fail. Guides remember that failing isn't just nothing happens, try again. The situation changes, opportunity is lost, and the opposing force gets the initiative. If you fail after going wild, your pack also loses 1 harmony. Oh, sick. Wow, that's risky. So if you aim for the d20 and you subtract a d6 and you fail, then you lose 1 harmony. And I guess we'll find out about harmony later. If you have at least 1 success, you accomplish what you set out to do, but not necessarily without complications. The guide checks A to determine what happens next. Oh, wow. This is tricky. Pika Azuro. I don't know if it's extremely heavy consequences, but from what I'm understanding from the combat system, you can target certain limbs on a monster, depending on like what you feel is the biggest priority. I don't. This game doesn't seem as gritty, but it certainly has, limb-based combat, I guess would be a word. Oh, interesting. So, golly, this is tricky. Okay, so the dice system is super nuanced. It's not as simple as roll d20, see if hit, go from there, right? So what you're doing is you're rolling style, which is a set of d6s, and you have to aim for as many successes as possible. A success on a d6 is defined as a 5 or higher, right? If you only have one success, then the success is defined by your action die, which is a d8. So 1 to 4, which is half of the d8, is only a partial success. 5 to 7 is a normal success, and 8 plus is a critical success. The only way you're going to get plus is if you spend your skill points on the action die, or you went wild and you used a d20 and rolled higher. So there's multiple ways to kind of pull success from the jaws of defeat. And I want to know what happens when you have multiple successes. If you have multiple successes, you can spend that extra on traits that cost successes. You can use multiple traits, a single trait multiple times, provided you have the successes to do so. You can't spend your last or only success. Once you're done spending successes, the guide checks A as normal. Traits. Traits are like these guys. Costs 1 success. Oh, golly. Okay. So let's do a scenario, right? Let's do a scenario. Let's play with this, right? Let's play with this. By the way, Pika Azuro, if you're arriving just now, you can get this Wilderfeast quick start for free on the Wilderfeast Kickstarter. If you want to like read ahead or read faster, totally up to you. If you want to go back and catch up on things that you missed, also totally up to you. The benefit of a free PDF is that anyone can go at their own pace. I'm just doing this at mine. Let's do a scenario. Dice roller. Okay. Let's pretend, and I'll get rid of this. Let's pretend I'm rolling a mighty strike. A mighty strike, and I have +3 might, right? +3 might, and I want to mighty strike. So, I'm going to roll 3d6 for a mighty strike, and all I need to succeed is a 5 or higher on one of them. With that in mind, I want to go wild and roll a d20 instead of a normal d8 in case I succeed. So I'm going to decrease the 3d6 I'm rolling to a 2d6. And then I'm going to add I want to add up to 3 points to any of the rolls to make it a success. My goal is to have at least 1 success so the strike goes off. Gurnathath. Oh, welcome. Gurnathath, if you're just arriving, we're looking at the Wilderfeast Quick Start, which you can find on the Wilderfeast Kickstarter entirely for free, and you can go at your own pace. But I'm doing a hypothetical dice roll. So this would be... the first time you do this is kind of tricky. This is going to be a Mighty Strike 2d6 because I'm going wild for the opportunity to roll a d20. So let's do the 2d6. Yeah, and then we'll do the d20. Oh, golly, that's really bad. That's all very bad. Okay. So that's super bad. So, the only way to salvage this situation... is to use all 3 of my might points onto this 2 to turn it into a 5, which gives me 1 success. And one success. Where is it? One success gets me this, a partial success. So this is no bueno. This is no good, right? it's an okay swing. It's an okay swing, but it's not what I planned, and there's some sort of consequence to doing so. Even with the 3+ bonus. Let's do another hypothetical. Let's do it again. We're gonna roll 3d6, not go wild. We're gonna focus up. We're gonna use a d8 for our action die. So let's try that. So 3d6 and 1d8. Okay. So I got multiple successes, which is great. So I don't need to spend anything on these successes. What I'm gonna do is spend my 3 points on this action die, bump it to an 8, and if I bump it to an 8, that's a critical success. So I got a critical success on a mighty strike, and since I have multiple successes, I can spend one of those successes on great. Increase A by 1. So I'll spend one success to increase the action die even more, and suddenly, where is it? Suddenly this 5 becomes a 9, which is way, way better than what I rolled on that d20 and got no successes. Okay, I get the system. I get it. It's clicking. I feel like a bunch of people will have a little bit of difficulty wrapping their minds around this. And golly, this is so hard to incorporate into a virtual tabletop. So many moving pieces. But I like the movement. I do like that dice system. The PBTA classic, Andre. You do it, but at a cost. The 7 and 9 classic. Cool. And if I don't have that +3, all of this becomes so much harder. So you really want to lean into your strengths in this kind of game. But yeah, this is what we just did. So we tried Mighty Strike. We established our dice pool is +3 because we have +3 might. This was the roll we just did. We did both of these examples actually. We did 2d6 plus die or 3d6 plus action die. And we rolled and we used our bonuses. Hopefully we're able to yeah. Which means also apparently today was Appreciate Dragon Day. No shot. What? Appreciate a dragon. Huh? Well, would you look at that? What are the odds? Thank you, Gurniath. That's actually super kind. National Appreciate a Dragon Day. This is a real thing and celebrated by real people. Look at that. Look, the state of Maine talked about it. Neat. Thank you. Okay. Well, guys, it's 9:45. We should really wrap this up, or at least get a better glimpse. Where am I going? What am I doing? Where is the PDF? Oh, here it is. Oh, Dragon Appreciated in the Year of the Dragon. Very cool. Okay. So what have we learned? We've learned the concept. We've learned the premise of the game. We've learned about the world. We've learned about what a wilder is. We've learned about the dice rolling system. We've learned about the moral compass that you'll have to choose between fighting a monster or befriending a monster, cooking a monster. We haven't really gone into. But let's skim the rest since we're running out of time, and everything else you can read on your own because it's free. Advantage and disadvantage. Oh, sick. Okay, so advantage is a success is 4+ on the die instead of 5, and disadvantage is 6+ on the die instead of 5. That's wild. That's actually a fantastic way to do advantage and disadvantage. Very cool. Great, cool. Consequences, conditions, stamina, harmony, golly, this is a thorough quick start. You can probably play with just this. The trail. This is the concept of tracking down monsters. Fresh tracks, old tracks, travel rounds, forage, camp, move on. Tests during journeys. The hunt. This is the actual fighting part. Yeah, as you said, monsters have parts. An example, shell, passive. It should take damage from a swift strike or a swift shot. Have it. Claw, range 1 strike. Many parts have a passive like shell. Many parts have a range. If a part has a range, you can use it to attack. All right. My goal before the end of the stream is to find the part of this PDF that tells me how I gain powers by eating. That's my goal. Unlike style skills and traits, wilders can't gain parts from eating monsters. You can certainly mutate your own shells, claws, and fins, but you're not big enough for these parts to be parts tracked separately from your own stamina. Sure. Instead, you have your tool. Tools are a special type of part. They follow the same rules regarding part damage, durability, and being broken. Oh, that's an interesting mechanic. So tools are functionally the same as parts, and tools are like your cooking weapon. That's a really neat parallel. I really like that. Nice, nice, nice. Distance. Okay, cool. Distance. Great, great, great. Combat round. First round. Subsequent round. Okay, this is combat. This is combat. This is a lot of reading. I'm not going to do that. Not going to read this. Cool monster art. TTRPG tier list from just first time reading it. Oh, that would be really fun. I'm afraid people will screenshot it and say very horrible things, because that's usually what happens when people do tier lists. And that sounds like a really fun idea, since I've covered like 30 something games already. First impression tier list. Yeah. I mean, it's highly subjective because the ones that I like are the ones that I really want to run, right? Oh, you already founded Pikazoodle? Fantastic. This is by far my favorite art in this book. I love this fish look, and I love the sword. Gaining new traits. Ooh, what is this? What is this? If a creature, including you, doesn't have a trait, it has 0 levels in it. If a creature has a trait, but there's no number after it, has 1 level in it. To acquire a new trait, simply gain at least 1 level in it. Example. Talon cooks and eats a frenzied monster with venom and flying 2. In more explicit terms, the monster has 1 level in venom and 2 levels in flying. Talon has neither of these traits, so he could choose to gain a level in either of them. He chooses the latter, permanently gaining a level in that trait. He's flying now, but not flying 2. He'll have to eat another Wilderfeast if he wants to upgrade his flying another level. Ah, cool. After you eat the feast, choose a style, skill, or trait in which the monster has more levels than you do. You permanently gain a level in that style, skill, or trait. Wow, sick. Cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So let's go back to a character sheet. Let's find our way to the character sheet, right? Come on. Here, character sheet, right? So we're looking at this, right? So if we're fighting a monster that has really high tricky, by the way, but this style goes up to +3, but all of these can go up to +5 hypothetically, right? It's just not on the sheet. If you're fighting a really tricky monster and you kill it and you eat it, you can level up your tricky by +1. So basically every monster you get, you can boost either your style, which will boost your rolls, or you can get a +1 in skills. So any of these 12 skills, you can start leveling up, or you can take one of their traits, which is here, and those level up as well. Overwhelmed by choices. That is really, really cool. There's probably some sort of optimal answer to that. I'm not going to care about that. I just want to look sick. Is that too much to ask? Oh, this guy's wielding a frying pan. It's really fun. Wow, 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 wow. They just straight up say you could take whatever you want. How neat is that? You can just take whatever you want. And it's not about like divvying it up with your party either. Yeah, Russell makes a great point. The players need to eat increasingly higher value monsters to grow. So if you really want to raise your mighty all the way to +5, you gotta beat a +5 monster. Once you get to +4, nothing helps you until you get to until you fight something that's +5. That's crazy. So you're incentivized to fight monsters with a very high skill score to raise your score when you have the opportunity to. That said, if you want to specialize in a certain trait, you don't really have to level up every single one. I mean, specialize in a certain style. This is an important word, style. You don't have to level up every single one. You only have to care about the one that matters. And then when the opportunity finally rolls around to fight that +5 monster, that's your shot. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's fun. Or you could just go the full you guys go the full skill trait route and just get a whole lot of really weird skills. Is there a limit on how many traits you can have? I don't actually know. I like that. I do really like that. Yeah, and there's temporary like ingredients you can use to get temporary bonuses. That's neat. Not all food is permanently life-changing physical stats, right? Some food is just good food that you use for temporary stuff. Yeah, how fun. And because you eat with your party every single time, right? And you guys don't hunt individually, I'm assumedly, right? So some players will just fully spec into their traits, and some players will fully spec into their style, and some might even care more about their skills. So you guys will kind of branch out in different directions. And there will be monsters that you guys want to hunt for specific benefits. I guess my next question would be, can they incentivize befriending monsters in the same way that they incentivize hunting it? Because hunting it has some clear mechanical advantages. So what does befriending these monsters do? I mean, there's another full half of this PDF, so I'm just going to quickly skim it. Cooking, yes. Cool stuff. Cooking ideas, okay, nice. Sample recipes. Oh, cool, sample recipes. Winged fish dumplings. So yeah, these are like temporary benefits. See, restores 5 stamina until your next meal. Gain well level of the flying trait. So if you have the flying, I don't even know if you need the flying trait, but these can temporarily give you them. So if you don't want to spec into it, or if you haven't found a flying monster in a very long time, you could just eat these dumplings instead, right? Neat. And look at these. All jealously rendered all of these meals. Yeah, you just mentioned that you're typically hunting feral and hostile monsters, but you're not hunting every single monster, right? Okay, so this is an example of a game, of a fight, trail, situations. This is just what a full day looks like, so to speak. I'm not going to go into it. Actually, look at this monster. Very cool. Wow. So what if they lose? If all wilders all become wounded 3, let them regroup and try again. Great, cool. The feast. Bestiary. Alright, and these are the monsters. A quick look. This is the Kakwari. We're gonna wrap up with this. I'm not gonna look at the stats because I think for the Botabo. Very cool. Hagsetsu. Ooh, it's like a crab. The Mamudo. That's Sweet Loaf, I'm pretty sure. Cool. And then conditions, things that can affect you. Quick reference. Great. Combat tracker, great. Pre-made characters, great. This guy has mittens for gauntlets. This guy has mittens for gauntlets. Actually, I found a new favorite. This guy has mittens for gauntlets. How can I not? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, more of that. It's Pan. That's Spit. Cool. Torch. We've seen Torch before. And that is Twine. Very neat. All right. And that's it. Credit to all of these people for a wonderful project. I believe this project is coming out sometime in the summer of 2024. Obviously, keep in touch with the creators of this horrible guild through the Kickstarter page and or through their Discord. Thank you guys for tuning in to the first stream of 2024. Again, if you have any tabletop RPGs you'd like me to look into, please let me know in YouTube comments or on Twitter at WintryRPG. You can also email me, I guess, thewintrywyvern@gmail.com if you want to send me something more direct. But until then, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me for one more year of this wonderful journey of 99 more tabletop RPGs. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay frosty. Golly, there's no transitions between these slides. I really got to put those transitions back in. See ya.